Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to adopt the mindset of a stoic mentor to audit your current entrepreneurial journey and confront some of the harsh, honestly unspoken realities of growth. I want you to treat this as a personal, reflective log. Why? Well, if you've been feeling like you're slowly going crazy just by trying to do the right thing every single day, you need a mirror. This analysis of our source material is exactly for you. We're going to break down the profound philosophy of why leaning into suffering isn't just necessary, it's literally the fundamental requirement for authentic success. We'll be exploring this through a timeless lens, the grueling path of an apprentice trying to become a master. So let's begin the audit.
Okay, the misery is not something sitting next to the path. It is the path. Let's just dive right into this by acknowledging an unforgiving truth. The grueling, unrewarded early stages of whatever you're building. They aren't a detour. They aren't a sign that you're doing something wrong. They are the exact road to your success. Our source material points out this fatal flaw in how most people operate. They want the result, but they completely despise the requirement. They want the respect of being a master founder, but they keep trying to skip the grueling, repetitive sacrifices that actually earn that respect.
Are you running from the misery or walking straight into it? I want you to really use this log to force an honest audit of your own choices. When the friction gets high, do you lean in or do you immediately start looking for the nearest exit? Are your daily choices simply attempts to dodge discomfort? Look, most people spend their entire lives picking the job that doesn't push them or dodging conversations that expose their lack of progress. They reach for their phones at 2 in the morning because, well, it's a lot easier to numb out than to lie in the dark with the heavy truth of who they've become. But remember, the psychology of avoidance is a trap. Actually, scratch that, it's worse than a trap, because not moving forward is actually falling back.
You do not forge iron in a comfortable room. You throw it in the fire. Consider the story of a young apprentice blacksmith. The apprentice desperately wants the prestige of crafting a legendary blade, right? But they naturally recoil at the blistering heat of the forge. Yet this brilliantly illustrates how deep character is built. Just like iron, you must be beaten and put through the fire to come out fundamentally changed. When life gets overwhelmingly difficult, you cannot just pull yourself out before the process finishes. Everything you could ever become is already inside you, but absolutely none of it surfaces when you're comfortable. It only comes out when you are backed into a corner, with no easy exit, and the heat of the fire is real and immediate.
Let's compare physical training to mental endurance. You know how in the gym, muscle growth only happens through micro tears? You literally have to break down the muscle fibers by pushing past their limits, and only then do they rebuild thicker and harder. Well, the exact same biological principle applies to your mind. When you sit inside something incredibly hard and absolutely refuse to tap out, the part of your mind that believed you couldn't handle it, that deep-seated self-doubt, literally tears. And what grows back? A fortified founder who knows for a fact they can handle the pressure, which makes the next hard thing feel just a little bit smaller.
What is the discomfort pointing at? So the next time the pressure gets really bad, instead of constantly asking how to end your pain, I want you to swap the question. Ask what weak spots or unfinished business this discomfort is highlighting in your life. Think about how the master blacksmith teaches the apprentice to read the glowing color of the heated steel to spot its flaws. You have to learn to read your discomfort. The misery is actually a highly accurate map. It points directly at every single gap you opened up by choosing comfort when you should have pushed through. It is the most honest read on your life you will ever get. Now we've got to draw a hard line between two distinct types of suffering here. Productive versus unproductive suffering. On one side, we have the healthy, growth-oriented pain of hard work. On the other, the tragic, slow drain of avoiding your true potential. Hard work misery hurts, yeah, for sure, but it has a direction. You can literally feel it building towards something tangible. But that slow drain, that quiet restlessness you feel when you know you're staying below what you're capable of, that has no direction. It just quietly drains you year after year until the window of opportunity closes entirely. That low, nagging pull isn't anxiety, it's your actual potential knocking on the door. Understanding where you are on this timeline of the founder's journey is absolutely crucial. Notice that vast, empty space between starting out and the payoff? That is the danger zone. It's the part they cut out of every success story you've ever watched online. Think of our apprentice entering the years where they only sweep the soot-stained floors and swing the heavy hammer against scrap metal, day in and day out, without ever being allowed to make a single sword. This grueling middle phase is where the foundation of your business and your character is either permanently cemented or tragically abandoned.
We call this the invisible phase. Doing everything correctly for months and watching nothing move. It is brutal. You wake up at 4 a.m. with zero external proof that your sacrifices are paying off. You're putting in real hours, walking past things that feel good, and then that specific anxiety hits. You have nothing. No receipts, no metrics, no revenue to send to your friends and family to say, hey, look, it's working. You are forced to rely purely on an internal feeling in your gut. And that blind faith, according to our source, is the most important asset you have.
Are you quitting right before the invisible becomes visible? You really need to reflect deeply on this. Is the overwhelming lack of applause in this middle phase convincing you to fold right when the unseen work is about to compound? Almost everyone quits right here. They get close enough that if they had just stayed another few months, the outside of their life would have finally started to reflect all that internal, unrewarded work. But the silence feels like proof they were wrong, so they stop. Decide right now that no matter how much silence from the outside world is going to make you walk away.
This invisible phase naturally breeds the reality of founder isolation. It's an ordinary, quiet, grinding loneliness. You're constantly saying no to visible fun, and slowly, friends and family just stop reaching out. But here's the critical takeaway. You are losing people not because you became someone bad, but because you naturally outgrow those who have made peace with a low ceiling. When it's 5 a.m. and there's no audience to perform for, no one around to validate your choices, that is when you face your true self and find out who you actually are.
50%. According to the source material, most people tap out at less than half of what they actually have inside them. There's this fascinating physiological concept called the central governor theory. It suggests that our brain creates the illusion of severe fatigue way before our bodies actually reach physical failure, just to protect us. Well, the same thing applies to your entrepreneurial drive. The intense discomfort convinces you that your tank is empty, but it's just a protective illusion. The real ceiling of your capability is so much further out than you've ever been. You only find your true reserves way past the point where you were absolutely certain you had nothing left to give. And that is how you go about forging authentic leadership respect. By refusing to tap out at that 50% mark, you undergo a permanent psychological shift. It transforms you into a leader who just cannot be shaken by the world's weight. This isn't some temporary burst of motivation that wears off by Thursday afternoon. It's a permanent change in your cellular makeup. It is the moment our apprentice finally steps up to strike the anvil, not out of frustrated ambition, but with the quiet, permanent, unwavering confidence of a true master. Month after month, by choosing the work when it costs you something, you slowly become a person you genuinely respect in private.
They are not pretending to be unbothered. The reference point changed. I absolutely love this concept. When you survive the fire, you earn a profound stillness. Authentic leaders aren't faking it. They genuinely are unbothered because their internal thermostat for what counts as hard has been permanently recalibrated. They've been through the absolute worst version of the thing that scares you, and they survived it. That knowledge sits inside them like heavy iron ballast, giving them an unshakable confidence that you just can't fake or buy. So, is your current pain building something or just hiding your potential? Use this prompt to audit your darkest hours. Are you deliberately stacking hard mornings to earn that authentic respect and recalibrate your reference point? Or are you just reaching for a distraction, a phone, a screen, junk food you don't need, just to numb the noise and avoid the forge? The people who actually get somewhere are the ones who sit down inside the discomfort. They let the things break that need to break, knowing with absolute certainty that what rebuilds is going to be vastly stronger. Okay, let's synthesize all this analysis and look at the top 5 signs that your suffering is actually building deep character. Here are the 5 signs of character growth. These definitive indicators prove that you're paying full price for your success. It starts with experiencing that quiet, grinding isolation and working consistently without external receipts. You'll definitely feel the tearing of those old mental limits we discussed. But look closely at the 4th point, showing up specifically when you do not want to. That is the rep that actually counts. It's not about the days the work is flowing. It's about the days you're tired, low, and just want to escape. Pushing through those specific days is exactly what builds the 5th sign, that permanent internal stillness of a hardened leader. The misery was not the punishment. The misery was the whole training. You have to remember this. This entire uncomfortable process isn't some weird detour before the good times start. It is the exact mechanism required to turn you into someone capable of handling the life you're demanding. The misery is how you pay for the privilege of becoming someone who doesn't come apart when things get hard. The training trained you. It's the only door between where you are right now and the toughness you need, and you just have to walk straight through it. Will you walk straight through the fire today? I'll leave you with this final provocative thought based on our explainer today. The clock doesn't wait, and the days certainly do not slow down to give you more time to feel ready. The door isn't going to get any lighter, the forge is not going to get any cooler. So what's it going to be? Will you stop waiting for the feeling to be exactly right and instead let the misery finish its job? Will you walk straight through the fire today and forge yourself into the entrepreneur you are truly meant to be? The choice is entirely yours.